Peace, love, and light. This is GodisNanu at beautifulnanu.com or GodisNanu.com. All right. Um, and I'm going to talk to you very quickly about how to keep your relationships from becoming toxic. Again, how to keep your relationships from becoming toxic. Now, I hear a lot of talk quite often about toxic relationships. And what I've come to find is a lot of people are just using that as a way to attack whoever the other person is that they were in a relationship with. This person is toxic, that person is toxic, and so I don't want to have nothing else to do with it. Okay, but if a relationship is toxic, you have to understand if a relationship is toxic, there's two people in the relationship, at least two people. And so those two people in that relationship are both responsible for their relationship being toxic. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, so you should never ever be saying that person is toxic, that you're in a relationship with. That person is toxic and you're in a relationship with him, that's a no. Okay? That's a no. That's a no. Stop using that as a way to try to rip people down or attack people. Okay? Stop calling people toxic. Most of y'all are toxic. Most of y'all are toxic because you're eating toxic things. You're living in a toxic environment. Okay? You ain't breathing fresh air. You ain't drinking clean water. Look here. You ain't even spending no time in the sunlight. Okay, you eating toxic foods. Look, let's not go there, okay? Because most of us living in this place, especially if you're living in America, there's some places more toxic than America, but that's where I live at. So stop acting like you ain't toxic, okay? And let's use toxic in the right context. Now, if a relationship is toxic, then you can't say the relationship is toxic with that person. No. I want you to hold yourself accountable for your part in your relationship being anything that it is. First and foremost, I'm going to tell you how to keep your relationship from being toxic. Yes. If it's toxic, it's because of both of you. You understand? Because you can keep the relationship from being toxic, even if that means that relationship doesn't exist anymore. You can keep it from ever being toxic. Yes, you can. You can keep the relationship from ever being toxic. And I'm going to tell you how. First, you have to set and maintain clear boundaries. Set and maintain clear boundaries, and you have to know your limitations. What are your limitations? So that you can say, by advertising on YouTube, this is unacceptable for me, or I'm not going to deal with this in a relationship. I don't like to be talked to like that. I'm not going to tolerate you talking to me this way. Okay? If you're going to talk to me this way, then we're just not going to talk. You understand? You have to set clear boundaries in every relationship that you have. Okay? I don't want to be touched right now. I don't like to be touched when I'm upset or whatever those boundaries need to be. You need to set clear boundaries in your relationship, and this will keep your relationship from becoming toxic. One of the things that will keep your relationship from being toxic. But first, you have to know what your limitations are. Don't pretend like you're superior. You're more superior than the other person in your relationship, and you don't have any limitations. It's just all this other person. See, because then that makes me wonder, maybe you're the main reason the relationship is toxic, okay? Because it's never just all the other person. It's never all one person. Never. It's never all one person, because the relationship requires two people, okay? So that being said, you have to look at yourself. What is it? Because you can't change that person, but you can change yourself. You can change yourself, and how you carry yourself and how you interact with people will determine what kind of interaction occurs, no matter who you're dealing with, no matter what the relationship is, even with your children. Okay, even your relationship with your children can become very toxic if you're not setting and maintaining clear boundaries. Okay, know your limitations. Stop pretending that you don't have any limitations. You're not Superwoman. You're not a Superman. You have limitations. Know what your limitations are. Hey, if things get to, if somebody does this or says this is going to make you angry. You let them know that, hey, I don't like this. This is my limitation. Um, I'm not going to deal with disrespect. The minute you start getting disrespectful, the conversation is over. I'm not talking to you anymore because I'm not going to engage in. I can't. This is my limitation. You understand? As soon as you start getting loud, for some people can't have a conversation, a loud conversations. So as soon as you start getting loud, for me, the conversation is over. I can't talk to you anymore. If you're going to talk to me that way, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You understand? Those are setting clear boundaries, okay, and expectations, to understand where your limits are, okay, what you are going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. And saying you're not going to tolerate something means that don't tolerate it. That means you leave the situation, you leave the environment, or you stop giving whatever it is that you're giving in that moment, okay? All right, that's one of the main things you can do to keep your relationship from becoming toxic. Set clear boundaries and maintain those boundaries. You can't be this is my boundary today, but I'm gonna give on it tomorrow. No, because then you're not maintaining those boundaries. The boundary's not clear anymore. Okay, and that's just the same as, let's say. Let's say you have a glass that's clear. You understand? You have to know at what point um, is what's going on with you pouring into what's going on with me. You understand? All right. So if you saying that person, supposedly that person is toxic. Let's say supposedly that person is toxic, whoever it is, right? Which let's say suppose they are toxic. If you have clear boundaries, it doesn't matter whether they're toxic or not. If you have clear boundaries, it doesn't matter whether they're toxic or not. Think about it. If you set clear boundaries, it doesn't matter whether they're toxic or not. You got to teach people how to treat you, okay? And let's say if you have a bowl, okay? If you have a bowl and here's another bowl, how come what's in this bowl get in that bowl? The bowl is the boundary. You understand? So I'm throwing that out there. If you have questions about that, comments, we can talk about that more. Absolutely. Another way you can keep your relationships from becoming toxic is to protect and defend your individuality. Protect and defend your individuality while becoming one. It's becoming one if you're married, okay? While becoming one if you're married, or while working together, or whatever the relationship is, you can still protect and defend your individuality, okay? Because you are still a person with your own mission, with your own purpose, with your own needs, wants, and desires. Even in a marriage, yes. I understand a lot of women feel that they're supposed to, their husband is the visionary, the head of the household, and you're supposed to support his vision and whatnot. But guess what? You're here for a purpose. You understand me? You are here for a purpose. And your purpose is not just to be whatever somebody else wants you to be. Okay? That's mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. We're not gonna do that. Okay? We're not going to do that, because for one thing, if you're that religious in your thinking, then you have to understand that you have to work out your own soul salvation, and God brought you into this earth by yourself. You're going to leave this earth by yourself, and on judgment day you're going to be by yourself, right? If you're that religious in mind, you have to know that, right? That in judgment day you're going to be standing there by yourself, not with your husband. So you have to understand that you have to have you got your own mission and purpose, okay, in life. And you also have your own needs, your own wants, your own desires, okay? And you have to make sure that you are protecting and defending that, and you have to know what those are. So if you don't know what your mission and your purpose is, then really you shouldn't even really be thinking about getting married or doing anything with anybody until you find that out. You need to know what that is, so whenever you're doing things with other people, you're walking parallel, okay? And you're not being pulled away from what it is that you're called to do and you're supposed to be doing. Okay? Guys, you should be walking together. Should be walking together in the same direction. And even while you're walking together in the same direction, even if you're in unity and all of that good stuff, you still have to protect and defend your individuality. Okay? Because you are an individual, even within the unit, and you still matter. Okay, and this is how you keep your relationships from becoming toxic. You understand? Because the moment that you don't protect and defend your individuality, and you start being, you start going along to get along with any and everything, then you're not standing in your purpose anyway. So that's when things start to become toxic. You understand? And then you're gonna be blaming the other person. It's not the other person's fault. All right. Now, whenever there's let's say a disagreement takes place. All right. Well, before we even get to disagreements, another way you can keep your relationship from being toxic is know and talk about your expectations. Okay, you have to know what your expectations are in whatever type of relationship that we're talking about. And I understand sometimes compromise is necessary, but don't settle. Okay, don't settle. Don't break yourself. Okay, if you're gonna bend, that means everybody is bending. Okay, you can't be one person bending. If you're here and one person's bending, the other person needs to bend too. You understand me? Do you understand? Know and talk about your expectations. Do not settle. Don't be the only one bending. Okay, compromise may be necessary, but if compromising there, that means both parties are compromising. You understand? And you have to stand your ground. You have to stand up for yourself. Okay. Otherwise, you blame yourself for the situation that you're in, and the type of relationship that you have is one-sided relationship. It's your fault. All right. That being said, also, you need to communicate your disappointments, your hurts, and your letdowns. A lot of times, what's going on in relationships is people are not communicating. You have to communicate your disappointments, your hurts, your letdowns, your expectations. All right, those things have to be communicated, and they have to be clearly. If you don't know what they are, then you need to step back. And you need to step back and reflect, take some time to reflect and focus on your own self and personal development and healing, okay, so that you can communicate these things effectively, okay, and y'all have an actual real conversation about it, okay? So you take all the time that you need to do that, especially if an argument's taking place. You need to be able to communicate what your disappointments are, what your hurts are, what your lets down are, how you feel, why you feel that way. You need to be able to communicate what your expectations are moving forward, et cetera, et cetera. If you can't do that, then you take some more time. You take some more time to reflect and focus on self-development and get into a place where you know within yourself what's going on with yourself. You understand? All right. And once you've done all that, once you've taken the time that you need to pull back and reflect and work on your own self-development and healing, you have to also forgive and move forward. All right, you got to know when to forgive and move forward. Okay, don't be vindictive, don't be holding grudges, don't be throwing stuff in people's face. All right, that's how you keep your relationships from becoming toxic. All right. You gotta expect. You can expect growth, but not perfection when it comes to relationships. It seems like a lot of people expect perfection. That that are imperfect. You're imperfect. So even from yourself, expect growth, but don't expect perfection, not even from yourself. And definitely not from the other person either. You expect growth. You want to see that person growing, you want to be growing. Y'all are not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Okay. What is perfect? All right. They're not going to meet all your expectations to be every little thing that you want them to be every second of the day. That's just not realistic, because you're not even everything that you want yourself to be every second of the day, because you are human and you have limitations, and you need to know your limitations, set your boundaries, okay? Understand yourself, all right, first and foremost, and understand that person. All right, and also another thing that I see is that a lot of people, they pile everything together. They pile all their issues into one big pot, and it's hard to emotionally wade through that. And so, what I want you to do whenever you're reflecting or you're dealing with issues, you have to separate your personal relationship, you put issues in your personal relationship, or issues in your business or monetary relationship, or your parenting relationship, or your political relationship. Okay, I gave you 4 different relationships. That's the foundation of your marriage. Or yeah, I'm talking about marriage now. There's four different things, 4 different aspects of your relationship that is the foundation of your marriage. Okay, that's your personal relationship, your business or monetary relationship, your parenting relationship, and your political relationship. Political relationship, that means your public appearances, um, whatever y'all relationship when you're out among other people. Okay, now you have to understand those are 4 separate things. 4 separate things. Your personal relationship, that has to do with, are we friends? Are we buddies? Are we lovers? You know, how do we just interact with each other when we just interacting as people? Um, just as people talking to each other. Um, your business or monetary relationship. This has to do with your financial health as a whole, as a unit. How do we interact in our business, our finances? How are we interacting in our parenting relationship? Your parenting relationship is completely different. When y'all talking about the children, don't be throwing in, don't put all that stuff together. Don't put all that stuff together. Okay? Don't put all that stuff together. Now, you can not have a personal relationship with somebody and still have a parenting relationship, or a business or monetary relationship, even a political relationship. Shoot, politicians do it all the time. Damn, celebrities do it all the time. They got a whole political relationship, might have a personal relationship, might have a business relationship, might have a parenting relationship. But you don't have to have all of those. Those are 4 different things. Okay, those are 4 different aspects of a marriage. Okay, so don't muddle them all together. Understand where your strengths are and your weaknesses are. You understand where you need more work. But don't put them all together. Okay, don't ever. Let me make it clear. So you should never say, okay, because we're not doing good in our personal relationship right now, this is not going to bleed over into our parenting relationship. And, I'm going to keep the babies away from you, and I mean, don't do stupid stuff like that. Don't do stuff like that. Okay. This is how you're going to keep your relationship from becoming toxic. Okay. Keep those things separate. Okay. If you're upset with him about something that had to do with the children, leave that there. Okay, don't let that affect y'all spending time together. Oh, now we're not going to go on our dates, or our date night. Or, I don't want to make love to you now. I don't want to kiss you. I don't want to hug you. Don't do that. Okay, I don't want to talk to you today because what happened with the kids. Don't do that. Okay, these are separate things. Yeah, it can affect that personal relationship if you're hurt, because we talked about this, or whatever. Then that's a conversation to have. Okay, but don't put it all together. Don't put it all together. It is together, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Don't pile it up. Don't pile all your issues on top of each other. Um, and you can still have, there can still be healthy aspects of your relationship, even if you're working on other things. Okay. Um, so in any of those 4 areas, you can be weaker in some of those areas, and you can focus on strengthening those areas of your marriage, but don't let, because one area, y'all are struggling, that you're going to let it affect all the other areas. Okay. Um, yeah. All right. Let's say, okay, y'all having money issues. Okay, y'all having money issues or whatever, and we're fussing about the finances or whatnot. You making bad business decisions. Okay, you need to be able to you need to be able to box that up. Okay, don't mistreat that person. Okay, based on that, don't 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 let that affect your parenting relationship or even your political relationship. You know, everybody around you shouldn't know that something's going on with your finances. Okay. Um, that's your business. All right. All right. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. I'd love to talk more with you all about it. If you have any questions, comments, rules, remarks, I love to hear from you all. I do appreciate your support, so I can continue to do these videos for you. I appreciate all donations. My Cash App is GodisNanu. My PayPal is GodisNanu. If you want to send me something, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Also, support my book. I do have a new book out on free birth. Please go cop that, share it, take the free birth class. Absolutely, absolutely. Or go ahead and schedule your free consultation if you need counseling, relationship counseling, or therapy. You feel like you need some talk therapy, or some healing, crystal healing. I got your back. Go ahead and schedule your consultation with me on my website, GodisNanu.com. It should be in the description. All right. It should be in the description, GodisNanu.com. You see my name right there, .com. Okay. Right there. All right. All right. Love you guys. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, please let me know. I appreciate the encouragement. I like to know that I'm appreciated. So please appreciate me in that whatever way that you can appreciate me. All right. Peace, love, and make sure you go to the YouTube page, subscribe, like it, share it, click the bell so you get notifications.